How we doing, guys? Lovely weather we're having. Right, let's get in here out of the rain. So, how are we doing? Apologies, I've not been on for a few weeks, probably 4 weeks now before I put a film on, but I've been mad busy with stuff. I've had all sorts of work, commissions, walking sticks to make, all kinds of stuff. So we'll get the apologies out of the way, but we're back on it now. So look at the bloody weather. I think this summer is well and truly done, one, hasn't it? It's gone. So it's definitely turning back end. You never know, we might get a good spell yet, but yeah, it don't matter, does it? Just get the right gear on. So we're out today. It's like I'm dressed for winter, but what we're going to have a do today, we're just going to nip down. I'm on the hide side, so, and I've not been down for, I bet it's a good 6 weeks since I've been down. So I planted a few things up against it, you know, planted a few ivies and that. So we're going to go down, have a look at the hide, see if it's still there. That'd be nice, wouldn't it? But I'm sure it is. We'll have a look, see how the foliage is growing, and seeing, you know, if it's bedding in. And I've got another idea that I wanted to share with you. So we'll have a look at this, and then what we'll do, we're going to go back to the workshop, show you how I knock this up. But we'll have a mooch down there, have a look in the hide, get a brew on, maybe have a biscuit, and we'll have a natter. Alright, so come with me. So like I said, I've not been down for a good 6 weeks at least, and it's grown like mad. Luckily this end of the field, it's left uncut, so, you know, just let nature do what it does. Pond's looking well there, full of weed, and I'm sure the heron's been down fishing in there for the newts and the frogs. So there's our birch post, and there we go. Still there, that's a bonus. So as you can see, I put a few shrubs in here actually. These were just out of the garden. Now we're having a bit of a change around in the garden, but no, it's looking great. That all the nettles are growing up nicely. I put some, you can just see it there, it's going to take a bit of time to get going, but I put ivy in, I put 3 ivies, that one's going a bit more down there, so hopefully that's going to grow up here, and I'll train that. But yeah, it's looking pretty good, just nestling in nicely. Obviously it's all that fresh green foliage is going to die back, you know, come back end and winter, and you know, we'll be back to this dead vegetation that's on the front, but it'll be right. So here we go. We'll look out there, that's where our buzzards are going to be coming down hopefully in the next couple of months. We'll get that set up, get some nice logs and branches set up, and some what have we got down here. So that's you can see how battered this is now. This is our, you know, when I did the woodpecker video, that's where we put with feeders, so that's looking a bit worse for wear. We'll probably end up replacing that. We've got this belting gate post in here that we're going to leave. That's cracking, that. Lovely to get some birds of prey on there. You know, we've got this old bits of ironmongery in that. That's bedded in nicely. Yeah. Looking forward to getting down here, to be honest. So let's open her up, make sure it's still watertight in there, and we'll get a brew on, eh? Right, that's good. absolutely dry as a bone, which is fantastic. There's no sign of any no sign of any animal infestation, so we've not had any rodents in here taking shelter. So yeah, sweet, happy days. Let's get it opened up. We'll give it a bit of an airing. Get these window hatches open. Second one there that I just opened, it was a bit tight, so what I'll do, I'll bring the plane down, just plane a bit off that. Excuse me, because obviously when we come down here, if we're on a shoot, we don't want to be making any noise. We want it to open nice and quietly. So yeah, it's just swelled a bit with the weather, but we'll sort that out. Hey, right, well, I'm chuffed about that. The hide's still here in one piece, so that's a good do. That's cracking. Right, let's get a brew on, eh? Get a brew on and a biscuit. So like I said, I've been proper busy, so I've just not had time to get stuff done, but we're back on it now. I'm going to take this off because it's brightening up a bit now. So yeah, I've got an idea actually that I've been on with. I'm going to show you that in a minute, and then we're going to show you how we made it back in the workshop. But yeah, first things first, eh? But as I was saying before, I think this weather it's proper turned now. We've definitely seen the back end of summer. So next week I'm off up to Scotland for 2 weeks, which I'm really looking forward to. The first trip that we had in the year, that was scuppered by this coronavirus, so we're off up there next week. I'm going to do Mull and Arden American on the west coast of Scotland. I've been up there quite a bit, but it's a fantastic place, and so we're hoping to get some filming done. I've got a Sea Eagle trip booked, which is going to be fantastic with Mull charters, and I'm going to hopefully get some otter photography done, because I love getting up there and doing the otter stuff. So hopefully we'll have some videos of that coming up. You know, we're in the next 6 weeks, so it'll be here before you know it. So I just hope we get a good bit of weather, because it can be a bit skanky up there, but September can be fantastic, so fingers crossed. Cheers everyone. Just working out what to take really when I go up Mull. You know, do I take that 2-person hide, or do I take my little chair ride, or just go with the you know, 3D camo stuff? So I'm not sure yet. I mean, I've got plenty of load space in camper, so I don't know, I might just chuck them all in. You never know, do you? You're better having it, ain't you? So hopefully get a few walking stitch cuts as well while I'm up there. So yeah, that's the plan. Right, let's have a look. A little package here to open up. I'm looking forward to this for ages. So this was sent to me by Anne from Ghyll and Crag. Okay, and they're a little family-run business based up in the Lake District, and they make the most fantastic hats. So there you go. Oh, wrong way around. So there we go, Ghyll and Crag. Now these are all hand knit. Now I have got loads of hats, and I've got some really nice. You know, I've got that lovely foul raven one, but I don't think there's any hands been near that. That's been machine knit, and all these from Ghyll and Crag, they're all hand knit, which is, there's something special, isn't there, about stuff that's been made by hand. I mean, even, you know, the way it's presented. And this is obviously a gents one, but the ladies ones, when they have a pom-pom on top, the pom-pom is made from the wool from the Herdwick sheep, which anyone that's familiar with the lakes, and they're an iconic lakeland breed, brought over by the Vikings back in the day, and so that's what the pom-poms are made out of. It's quite harsh wool, so the hats are made out of a softer wool, but look at that, it's absolutely beautiful. That quite a chunky knit. There's the little motif on the side. Let's have a look. I think this is going to be my new go-to warm winter hat. That is quality. It's it fits like a, well, it don't feel like a glove, it fits like an hat, but you know what I mean. That is, oh, it keeps your ears proper toasty. I actually need that on today, it's that cold. So it says hand knit luxury made in the Lake District. All our hats are lovingly knitted by hand right here in the Lake District. Each hat is adorned with a pom-pom made from real Herdwick wool from the flock at Crookerbeck Farm in Patterdale. So anyone that knows the lakes, know what a beautiful place Patterdale is. Yeah, that's fantastic. So big shout out to Anne. Ghyll and Crag, check them out. I'll put a link at the end of the video. Go out, have a look on the website. They've got some fantastic colours, you know, loads of different colours, and yeah, they're just the business, absolutely brilliant. I love that. So yeah, big up to Ghyll and Crag. Thanks very much. How we doing, guys? Right, as I said, I've been knocking a few of these up in the workshop. You might be wondering what it is, but all it is, because I'm thinking, like, obviously next few months we're going to be back in the hide, and we're going to be doing a lot of setup stuff. You know, like I said, we've got this nice post here with a post there. Thing is, with posts, once they're set up, you've no adjustment in them. Alright, so that's what it is. The background's what it is, and sometimes it's nice to mix it up a bit. I might want to, you know, alter the height of it. I mean, when going back to the barn owl film that I did a few months ago, where I had that fantastic piece of hawthorn and I zip tied it to the side of the fence, and the barn owl landed on it, and I got some brilliant shots. Now, once that was set up, that was it. It wasn't moving again because it was zip tied on. I had no, so I got back in the hide, and to be quite honest, the height of it wasn't exactly as I wanted it, but I knew the barn owls were going to be coming out soon. I didn't want to be faffing about, you know, potentially putting them off and ruining the night's shoot. So it was what it was, and in the end it worked out all right. But there might be occasions where you've got a perch set up and you might want to just adjust it, and it can be a bit of a faff. Like I said, you're either screwing it onto something, or you're zip tying it, or you've got a piece of cordage, and it takes time, doesn't it? So I've come up with this bit of an idea. It's but it seems to work. So all it is, you've got your nice piece of whatever. In this particular instance, it's just like a 4-inch piece of log with some nice moss on it, and I wanted something where I can adjust the height quick. So all I've made, it's basically a box with a slider on it, and that's it. So I can adjust that height. 2 spikes on the bottom. So all I do, find out where I'm going to put it, just literally push it into the ground. All right. That is firm now, it's not going to go anywhere, and then I can either have it set, that's the minimum height, and then I can adjust it. Now all I do to adjust it, I've got a bolt that's in my jacket, so bear with me 1 minute. There we go, I've got the trusty bolt. Now what I'm going to do, I'm going to just fasten that with a piece of wire onto the side, so it's always there then. So all we have to do, we can either sit it down at the bottom, so that's our minimum height, and I've got a series of holes in the side, and then all we have to do, decide how high we want it, push the bolt through, and that's it. And you've got that extra height, and that can make a massive amount of difference. It can mean the difference between having a sky background and you know, a green foliage background, which depending on the species you're taking photos of, you know, it can make a big difference. So all we have to do then, we've got a couple of wedges, because what you have to do, this box that you've made, you make it a little bit bigger, you know, so maybe 5mm either way, just to stop any swelling in the wood and it tightening up. And then I've got these little hardwood wedges, just pop one in, one on this side as well, and just push them down, and that just firms the whole thing up, so it stops it waggling around. You don't want a bird coming down, landing on it, and it being a bit wobbly. It'll probably put them off, to be honest. And that's it. It's nothing. It's not rocket science. You know, we're not trying to reinvent the wheel, but it's just a simple idea that I've come up with. I don't think I'm going to be going on Dragon's Den with it, to be honest. I don't think I'm going to think there's that much call for it, but you never know, do you? You never know. So that's that, and then to release it, just pull up. They're quite tight, them wedges, actually. There we go. And then if we want, we could have it right up here if we wanted to. And again, just pop them wedges in. Don't press them in too far. Like I said, they're difficult to get out really, but there you go. So you've got, what we got there, I don't know, best part of 2 foot adjustment. You know, it's just an idea. I mean, you could mess around and, you know, put foliage and wrap some scrim around it, but in my experience, when I've used it, you don't need it. They're not bothered about that. You know, if you've got any feed on the top, or you've got a feeding pot on the back, that's all they're interested in. So what we're going to do now, we're going to go back to the workshop, back at home. I'll just show you how I knocked it up. Okay, so what do we need to make this? Well, effectively all we need is 6 pieces. Okay, so we need our central post, which it don't matter, it's not critical, you know, so this one is 70mm. Yeah, so 70mm square, that one. And then what we're going to need, so we'll do a sectional view. So that's our post there. And then what we'll do, we're going to cut 4 pieces of timber that are the same size, just to make life easier. We'll have one there, and then that one will go down the side. And then we can screw that through there, that through there, that through there, and that through there. And that will give us our box. Okay, it'll be like that. So once we've got our 4 pieces, all we have to do now is screw them together to make our box. What I like to do is not only screw them together, but add a bit of wood glue as well, just to make sure. we go. That's our box section sorted out. So there, that's our box, and hopefully it should slide in and out. So there you go. So we've got a couple of mil either side, just to allow for a bit of expansion. Best thing to do is to make it out of tannalised timber if you can. This is some old fencing stuff that I had knocking about. If you make it out of ply, unless you make it out of fancy marine ply, which is very expensive. I mean, you can make it out of marine ply. You know, it's not going to be as affected by moisture, but there's a chance that these are going to get left out and left out for a good length of time. So with this being tannalised, and it's already been out, it's off an old fence this, so any expansion is going to have occurred already, so it should be all right. So that's the size of this one. I'm not going to put a bottom in it. There's no point. So any water, you know, if it's raining, it can just run out and straight out through the bottom. If you put a base in it, water's just going to sit in it unless you put some drainage holes. So I don't see the point in putting a base in it. All we have to do now is well, I'll tell you what we'll do first. We'll put our adjustment holes in it. So this one, I think what we'll do, we don't want to put them up too high. If you put them all the way up to the top, obviously, whatever you've got sat in, if it's only down to there, it's going to be all over the place. You know, you're going to struggle with that stability. So you want it probably halfway down. So this one, you know, once you've got your wedges in, that'll be nice and tight. So we'll take it down to about there. So we'll just mark them in. Well, we can have 1 inch increments if we want. So what we'll do, get our tape measure, and then if we put an adjustment hole every 20 mil, so 220, 24, 26, 28, 30, 32. Then all we need to do is drill them out. What we need then is, what we need now is a bolt that's the right size. So that's just a thin coach bolt. That's going to go through. Plenty of space on the other side. And then it's just a case of, see what diameter that is. 6 mil. So we'll just drill a 7mm hole in each one of those, and the same on the reverse. Then we'll just pop a countersink in just to tidy it up a bit. There we are. Like I said, we're not making furniture. It don't really matter. It don't have to be pretty. It's just there to do a job. So what we need to do now, we've got our box made. We've got our adjustment holes in it. There's no base in it, like we said. Let that drainage take place. And then we need to think about what kind of height that we want. So that's going to be, obviously, that's going to be ground level. We want then that on the top. We're going to cut that down a bit actually. We're going to take about 10 inches off that because it's a little bit tall. I don't think we need it that tall really. And then we've got our post in there. So potentially if we put it on the top adjustment, well, that's our maximum height. I'd say probably about there. And then we'll cut that off. So from the ground, that's going to give us what we got there. So normal fence height is about 3 foot, I think. So that gives us 3 foot there, and then we've got our post on top. So I think we'll cut that off there. So what we want now, this is our one we made earlier, is a means of fixing it into the ground. Now all I've used there is just Dexian box section that, and just cut it at an angle. I've just cut one at an angle and one's flat. So one on either corner, and we've made them, let's have a look how long. Yeah, 350 mil long. We'll cut them, we've got a bit of, that's all it is, that's just how Dexian. We'll just, we might as well use that length actually, there's no point cutting it down. We've got some more somewhere, here we go. And we'll just make them the same. I mean they're what, 250 millimeters that, and it's all right for a post this size. Okay, it can depend on how soft the ground is. You know, if you've got a hide set up and it's on particularly marshy or boggy ground, you might want them maybe another 6 or 10 inch longer. You know, to give you that that extra purchase in the ground. And all I've done as well, as I was saying before, I've got some little wooden wedges. I've made these out of these are made out of oak because they'll you know, the dried oak, they're not going to swell. And all I've done, I've just tied a bit of heavy fishing line around. I've just drilled a hole in, and then I've just attached them however you want. You could just put a little fencing staple in there and tie it on, but I just had that's just a fishing swivel. It's just that you're not going to lose them then, are you? They're there all the time. You're not going to be scratching around looking for them. I know before, when I set it up, I didn't have the bolt, and I've misplaced the bolt again. So this is it. This just proves how really you need to fasten it to the post so it's there all the time. So there you go. Got another bolt there. All that is just a thin coach bolt. You can use a piece of you know, metal coat hanger wire or whatever you've got really. It's just that I had some of these, and yeah, it just in like that. Just as long as it's just to stop the post from dropping down any further. It's not critical, but again, that'd benefit from having a piece of wire around it, and you know, just hang it with these, and then it's there all the time. You're not going to lose it. This is what you have to do with your perch or your branch or whatever, is just screw a piece of ply onto the bottom, and then all you're going to do there, you can see there's 4 holes. That's going to screw to the top of the post. So if we wanted to change this one out, all we do, we just unscrew this. In fact, I'll do it now and I'll show you. So we've just got 4 screws. So effectively what you could do, you could just make a whole collection of different posts and different branches, and oh, there we go. Yeah, you could have a whole collection of them. So you could have 10 of them, all different ones, just with a base screwed on the bottom. Just leave that on, and you know, when you want a different setup, that's your standard post insert. You just screw your new post onto it, so you can see there that just sits on there. Screw it on, drop it into your main adjustable post holder, and you're good to go then. So there we go. That's it. That is the yeah, the revolutionary Adjustapost 2000. So we're going to give it a do this. We're going to give it a do this autumn and winter. We're going to get a couple set up outside the hide, and hopefully we'll get some good shots. Mostly jays down there, and you know, it'd be lovely to get some birds of prey down, but who knows. I'm also going to. I went down yesterday to where I've got a couple of perches set up. Well, I did have a couple of perches set up on the river for kingfishers, and they're still knocking about. There's still loads of activity, but we've had a lot of rain, and typically the perches have got washed away again, because you know the perches. Yeah, I set them up, and they're right on the bank. They're, you know, I set them up when the river's in a normal condition. You know, it's not running fast, it's not flooding, it's not in spate. So when it does flood, which invariably with the amount of rain we've had, it came up, it's just wiped them out again. So what I'm going to try and do, I'm going to try and think of a way that I can, similar idea to this. So I'm going to try and make an adjustable perch holder, so that when I finish doing my photography, I can actually, you know, move the perch up and have it up in a kind of a vertical position, and then when I'm going down to do a shoot night before, I can go down and I can drop the perch down, so it's like an anchor, if you will. And so we're going to have a think about that, get the old brain cells working. We'll come up with a design. We're going to knock one of them up, but that's going to be another video. So good to be back on it. Yeah, if you've enjoyed it, give us a thumbs up, maybe subscribe, share it, whatever. But yeah, it's great to be back, and we've got the big trip to Scotland coming up soon, so I'm buzzing about that. I'm just trying to get all my stuff together, and we might even do a little video about you know, what we're going to take on an extended trip like that. So thanks for watching. We'll see you soon, and stay safe. See you out there.